Welcome to Turning Hard Times to Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor. Really pleased to have Chen Lin with me again. Chen was with me earlier today when we spoke to Mark Arianto, the CEO of Silverco. A very exciting story, and I want to ask Chen to comment on that sometime. But there's dozens of things I could talk to Chen about, but certainly maybe towards the end of today's discussion, we can get him to comment on that very exciting story, silver story, with 85% of the project's value in silver. A lot of the silver mines have, a lot less than that. They might be more 50-50, with lead and zinc being half of the value. But this is closer to a pure play in silver, and one I think that you're going to hear a lot about. It's not well known yet because the company just went public by reverse takeover, but it's a very exciting story. But Chen, welcome. Thank you for joining me again.
Thank you, Jay. Glad to be back.
Yeah, last week, I think it was last week or so, you were saying you thought, or maybe it was earlier this week, that we were going to see $60 silver this weekend. And well, I was looking a little while ago. It's up close to 58 or something like that, around that level.
It hit 59.5, Jay. It's
59.
almost
Oh, you were
rounding number.
You were very close. With a lot of shorts out there that don't want to see silver go up any further than it has already, and they're really trying to push it down. But the problem is, as I understand it, Chen, is that you have all these paper shorts out there, but there's not enough silver to cover them. So
Yeah.
It's a squeeze. It seems like the silver shorts are being squeezed like never before. And of course, we've seen $50 now taken out, and it's not like, I guess twice before, when we saw $50 silver, it hit 50 and that was it, but just for a day or two, and then it went down. This has broke through silver, and it's holding, and it looks like we're heading to much higher levels. But talk a little bit about silver, the fundamentals behind it, Chen.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. This is a 50-year breakout, 50 year. We waited for 50 years. 50 years ago, silver hit 50 when Hunt brother was trying to squeeze silver, and then they failed. Actually, it's not like they failed because the government made them fail, right? They could have squeezed harder, but the government they changed the rules, made them fail. So that was the first time silver hit 50 years ago.
Yes.
And then they hit it again in 2011. This is third time. Third time is a charm. There's no triple top. So we broke up a 50-year trading range, basically.
And of course, China plays a role in this squeeze too, don't they?
Yeah, China has been very, you look at the Chinese inventory, there's a data available readily. You look at Chinese, future exchange and Chinese metal exchange, the inventory is like almost all-time low. Okay, most of the silver went to London because recently we have a London squeeze. Then all the silver from United States and China flew to London to cover the shorts.
Yeah.
That was the last time. And now the China's inventory very low. So Chinese government says, okay, that we made the silver critical metal, and let's put on export control on silver starting 2026. Hasn't really started yet.
Oh.
And then United States government say, okay, yeah, silver is critical to us. So you can see both United States and China start to value silver as a critical metal. That's very interesting going forward in 2026.
In 1980, as you mentioned, that the Hunt brothers tried to corner the market, and the U.S. government came down on them. And as a matter of fact, Chen, I was working at Credit DNA at that time, and I remember seeing one of the Hunt brothers go up the spiral staircase up to the president's office in New York. So I lived through that time, but I wonder, do you think they might increase the margin requirements?
Well, they already did. They put a lot of margin requirement. Right now, the problem is not really margin, right? It's really physical. So that's why I put in my letters that get a PSLV. Don't get SLV anymore.
Yes,
get physical. Make sure you get a physical silver. And then Sprout has been very, very good at getting a real physical silver.
Right.
And there's just not a lot of inventory.
Yeah,
in there. You look at China inventory, you look at Chicago inventory, you look at London, it's like juggling, right? One to the other, one to the other.
yeah.
But we still have a silver deficit. We have 5 years of silver deficit. Estimate 1 billion ounce of silver were taken away in the past 5 years. So how much silver left?
You taking away for industrial purposes, Chen? For
Yeah, that's my thesis over 3 years ago,
yes, I
because the
know.
solar panel, the boom of solar panel actually
Uh-huh.
take a lot of silver away. If you calculate the deficit of the past 3 years, each year the deficit actually is almost similar to the how much silver solar panel took away. So it just the sharply rise of solar panel consumption of silver, and then they take it to into those solar panel, right? They still install, still use solar panel good for 20 years. Maybe a lot of people will argue with me, say, oh, how about recycle? Yes, maybe in 20
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah. Well, so we had all these people thinking that they were both in gold and silver, thinking that they owned the metal when they had the paper, as if they could always go get the metal if the. No, it wasn't the same. It's not the same thing, owning the metal, owning the derivatives of the metal. And so you're right, PSLV is much better. All the Sprott ETFs that own the metals, the various metals, actually own the metals. And the other guys were playing all kinds of games with it and issuing paper, just like the U.S. government issues paper. There's nothing behind it. It's basically a kind of a fraud. And now the fraudsters are being caught, I think, finally, Chen, so they're getting their comeuppance. It's also true in gold to an extent, but I think silver is more critical because, as you say, it's used in industry. It's not just a monetary metal, it's both a monetary and an industrial metal, whereas gold is almost completely a monetary metal. But what are your thoughts on gold? It's also a bull market, but we should be seeing, I think, in this last stage of this bull market, we should be seeing silver outperforming gold. I think you believe that's true.
Yes, absolutely. Always, the first half always gold lead the silver. Second half always silver lead gold,
Right.
and then usually lead with end with a big spike of silver. So you always remember, and every day, at night I always thinking about are we at the peak of the market? That's always a question I ask myself because I have my family asset of all my subscribers invest in gold and silver. But I look at the historical pattern. No, we're still not there yet. We may be getting to the second half, but we're still not the peak yet.
Yeah. Okay, but some of the other metals are looking really good too. I was looking at Michael Oliver's technicals recently, and platinum is looking very, very strong now, right?
Yeah, platinum has been very good. I was buying platinum. Unfortunately, I sold it too early, but it was a very profitable trade.
So we're looking, you mentioned critical metals, and silver is becoming it is a critical metal,
It
really. It's
is
a very,
very,
very important metal.
yes.
There's a company you follow in the United States, symbol UUUU. Forget the name of the company. What is the name?
Yeah, oh, that's not a silver company. It's a
No,
uranium company.
yes, uranium,
Energy
but
field.
they're processing some of the rare earth metals, right?
Yeah. They're doing, yeah, because they're radioactive. They have a mill that can treat radioactive material, so they can actually happen to treat rare earths. That's the only rare earth processing facility in the United States. The share has been down hard. I feel like in the past few weeks, especially those rare earths or critical metal play seems to move with Bitcoin, as if Bitcoin people invest in those. Okay, when Bitcoin goes down, those goes down very hard. So
They're correlated with Bitcoin, you're saying.
yeah,
I
very,
wasn't aware of
very,
that.
very tough. Yeah, they went through very, very tough market. But right now seems to be on the way. Look at the chart, looks pretty good.
So you think it's a good time to buy now? Maybe
I, well, we bought much lower, so
yeah,
I'm holding.
right, right.
I have this cycle and
Well,
my shares are free, so I'm just holding and see what's the end. The problem is United States government haven't really haven't really started investing. Maybe
right,
because the government shut down, right? But they
right.
do invest a little bit, but they're more like a startup. They like a fancy idea. They don't like those really like energy field look like pretty straightforward, right? They somehow they haven't really invested in them. So my hope is, I own call options for disclosure.
Oh, you
Before my
do.
call option expire, I hope they they got a government contract or something.
Oh, so Energy Fuel. So you still like it, but it's I didn't realize it was correlated with. Doesn't make sense. Why should it be correlated except it's speculation?
Speculation,
It's
yeah. It just
speculation because here you're buying
go up
something.
and down. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, with the rare earths, you're buying something, and uranium, you're buying something that's tangible. It's not, something out there and
Yeah, it was hit hard when Garmin was shut down, and
Okay.
along with all the other risk assets. So it was pretty tough. But now it's look like I can see the end of the tunnel.
So
I just
maybe,
hope our government can put their act together to start financing those projects. Yeah,
yeah.
we need
Well,
those.
I guess maybe I would say don't hold your breath on the government getting their act together, but that's another story. All right, a really interesting thing I noticed in your newsletter, Chen Picks. I should mention what is Chen buying, what is Chen selling. You go to chenpicks.com to sign up for Chen's letter. But a really interesting story in your one of your recent, I think your last letter, Hemlo Mining Corp. And the Hemlo Mining Corp, Chen, I think before I knew you, Hemlo Gold was a discovery of a very prosperous gold project in Ontario. I think Barrick Gold had it, and they just recently sold it to a company, and somehow you ended up with some shares. You want to tell the story how you inherited Hemlo
Yeah,
Mining Corp?
that's a long story, Jay. Like almost 10 years ago, I went to Ukraine. At that
Uh-huh.
time, before the Russian-Ukraine war broke out, right? The natural gas price very high in Europe at that time. They're trying to go for the old
Hmm.
Soviet well, and then they refrac it, and doing quite well. Had the free cash flow, for their natural gas and
Yeah.
doing business. But unfortunately, suddenly the founder had a heart attack and passed away. So, which is a very, very important in Ukraine. The connection very, very important. At that time, the person CFO, which is Canadian, actually he did a very, very good thing for shareholder. He started selling all the assets from east to
Oh,
west. And then he keep telling me Russia going to attack Ukraine. I said, what are you talking about? I wasn't really aware about all the geopolitics. I said, what? You
the
must be
politics
kidding
there.
me.
Yeah.
But actually, he sold the asset. Listen to that. He sold the asset. He closed the deal just a few weeks before Russian invasion.
Wow.
Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah,
Timing is
unbelievable.
everything.
Right now, all these fields are under Russian occupation. So anyway, so he returned the money to shareholder. His name is Patrick McGross, and it's a very good guy.
Patrick McGraw,
I
yes.
really appreciate that. And then he also helped my neighbor. My neighbor actually have a Ukraine neighbor. His family is in Kiev. He actually helped them to
Oh,
evacuate. He's a very good
interesting.
guy. All right. So then we got money back. So the money, the shell called Top Energy
Uh-huh.
become a reverse split, and then all the other. So I think the total reverse split probably, about 500 or 300 to 1 something. So we leave some kind
Yeah.
of shell, and then they use it for Hemlo. So actually, I
Okay.
end up with some Hemlo shares, which is nice.
Well, so what about, do you see any potential there for Hemlo Mining?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It has the NAV at 3,000 gold. It worth over $1 billion. So right
Hmm.
now, actually, the market cap is below $1 billion US, and then it should have 100 million per year free cash flow. So and then Barrick, big company, they may not take care of very well. Now we have a new management team. They could develop and make it, expand it or acquire other assets and so on and so forth. So I like it. I've been
It's got
picking up
some,
the
it
shares.
has, so it had so it has some money. The
Yeah, I
company,
had some money. They did a big raise that's $2 and then 2 to 3 reverse split. So they did most of the money was raised at $3. So I feel $3 is a good floor. Right now it's about 350, 360 Canadian. I think
yeah.
that's a good price.
So
Okay,
it's worth,
because you're looking at all the institutions put money months away, before the recent go round. They put money there and then hoping they will close the deal. They're not deal closed. Some people decide to flip for 15, 20% profit. I will take it. Right? I'll take the other side of the trade.
Yeah.
I've been buying, including today, around
Oh, okay.
mid
So it's
three.
worth a look. I'll have to take a
Yeah,
look
mid
at it for my
three is
letter.
looks like good price.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Another name is Cerro de Pasco, the very interesting story down there in Peru. Where's that stand now, Chen? You've talked about it before. It's a very interesting story. It's got some critical metals, an
Yeah,
old,
right now there's a lot of news. That's the thing driving crazy. What I can say is there's a lot of things moving in the background. Okay,
uh-huh,
they will be a mine there, and then I believe it will be one of the greatest mine in the world.
so they're
Of
saying.
course, we
Yeah.
have to watch it develop. I think their news could come tomorrow, could come next week or two.
Hmm.
I'm looking at potentially three changing, company changing news. One will be their metallurgic study. They've been working on that very well for a very long time. I've been there recently, a few months ago. So they've been working on that. They should have a very decent news, I think. We will see what it looks like. And then we also have potentially United States government may step in to help them, which is looks very interesting. And then they're also working on Peruvian approval. They're looking for directly getting the mining license.
Okay.
Just get it. They call reprocessing license. So basically, they can reprocess. It's equivalent to mining. They're
Sure.
looking for that, and we believe, okay, they need the president's signature, but also there are people think that they may not need a signature. Well, who knows? But we want the mining license. So basically, that's what we're looking for.
Right. And the U.S. government might get involved because of the critical metals aspect, I guess.
Yeah. Because I've been there, I met the people from embassy, United States Embassy, and he used to live in New York, so we come on very well. And then he said, this is one of the project United States government really want to get involved. So we'll see. I mean, that's of course all these are per se, right? We want to see the signature, we want to see the money, we want to see the check. So.
And the government is it, I mean, they seem to have changes at the top of their government frequently there. Is it is
Yeah.
it
That's
different
probably
government?
delayed them a little bit, setback because of the president was impeached, right? So they have a new mining minister, they have a new people there.
So that
So
slows things down.
yeah, slow down. That's things just out of the control of the
Yeah,
management. I know they've been working very, very hard on that every
yeah.
day. So
Okay, well, another company I think you like a lot is Alaska Silver. They in Alaska, and I think also they're getting some favorable treatment from the Trump administration because of there's some critical metals, but silver is a critical metal now. So Alaska Silver, and I believe they've made some really good progress this year in their exploration efforts. I think they may have found a new deposit. I don't know if it's part of the old deposit, the one that they thought was faulted down. Um, but in any event, they believe they're onto some very
yeah,
considerable discovery this year. I don't think they've had many assays, or maybe they've had some surface assays, some grab samples and channel samples, that sort of thing. I don't believe they've gotten back yet the drill results, but I know the Kit Mars is quite convinced they're onto a very significant discovery there. And of course, if they get anything like that first deposit that they have is just really rich, almost a kilo
yeah,
of silver there, silver equivalent. So, yeah.
yeah.
What are your thoughts about Alaska silver?
When they first discovered the CRD, as you said, a kilo, I was there. I was holding
Oh, really? Yeah,
the core. It was so heavy, Jay.
yeah,
It's a completely metal. It's a zinc, lead, and silver, and maybe some gallium, and all these are. It's so heavy. The discovery is amazing. That drove the stock to $4, and then they went to a fault and they couldn't find it. And then also some terrible financing. Unfortunately, I mean, last time they did the financing was pretty low price because the
yeah.
market was pretty tough. Actually, I told management I wasn't very
Pretty
happy
upset
about the
about it.
financing.
Yeah,
Right. But they have money, they are drilling, if they can find what they have similar, right? That can be amazing, you know. That can be amazing
Yeah,
because why is that? Because it's in a very remote area in Alaska. So it's 1 + 1 is
yeah,
equal to 10, Jay. You know what I'm saying? Because the
yes,
infrastructure is so bad and so expensive. So the more they find, the value goes up exponentially. So
yeah.
I'm waiting for their drill results. Hope they make a discovery on the CRD. I think the share should respond.
Yeah, and of course, they'll be back at it next year, next drill season next year. I don't know how soon can they get in the, I guess it's a little not certain when they can get in there and start drilling again, but probably in the spring, late spring.
Spring, yeah, they can, yeah, we'll see. I mean, because if they do a complete drill, probably will need a summer to do complete drill, right? But
Yeah,
they may be able to get some sample to get some indications what kind of grade, what kind of CRD we're looking at.
yeah.
So,
Well, hopefully we'll get some drill results back very soon.
yeah.
Um, Another silver story, one of the bigger silver miners is First Majestic. And you were pretty bullish on it, but it turned a little less so recently, I guess, because they're issuing a convertible bond or something.
Yes, I'm very sensitive to those, Jay, because I always worry, I always worry every day if we are at the peak of the market. From First Majestic, we got in actually much, much lower. We got a single
Sure.
digit in the seven,
You've done well with it.
and it just keep going. I also, full disclosure, I also own core option. Core option exploded 5, 6 fold. Okay, not percent, 500, 600%. So I follow them pretty closely. They already generating free cash flow. They do this acquisition in Mexico,
Hmm.
cattle, right? So they did very good acquisition. I met with management, free cash flow. They're minting money. So they start buying back share for quite some time. They keep buying the share back. Okay. And then suddenly shocked me this week is they do a raise. So that tell me something. I mean, either the management need money for something else, or the management believe the share price is close to fair value. That's, or maybe, sometimes they just need money for something. Maybe there's some other project they want to
Maybe
do.
there's another project, another
I have
acquisition.
no idea. I have no idea, but it surprised me. So I sold. I told my subscribers at that time you can sell it at $16, and today it dropped below 15. So actually, I was able to buy back the same shares I sold at a lower price, because I don't like this kind of rate because it's like a slightly change of direction of the
Yeah,
company. Jay, you
yeah,
realize they have free cash flow.
yeah,
Right? They buying back share and suddenly they issuing shares. Right? That's a little bit,
yeah.
yeah,
Why
to
do
me
they
it's a
do that?
change of direction.
Yeah, why are they doing that? That's the question, I guess. And
That's the question. I do not know. I mean,
well,
next time I'll ask them. But anyway, my first instinct was right. I wish I sold more. So I was $16. I was selling. I sold, like 10%. Today actually went down to, below 15, 14 and change.
yeah,
You can buy,
I know, I
yeah,
know.
free, easy money, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we'll find out. When we were talking earlier today to Mark Arianto, he's saying there's a lot of opportunities down there in Mexico now. And he's down there. I think, he was suggesting that Silverco is looking for some more deals. And he talks about, the goal is to get to be a 10 million ounce per year silver producer. They can see 3 million ounces now. That means he's looking for a couple more projects. And maybe that's what, maybe that's what First Majestic is up to, Chen. Maybe
Yeah, very
maybe they
possible
want a bunch of money
because
because they see some opportunities. So I don't know. We'll see.
right, the market has all the different arbitrage right
Mhm.
now, right? The public market worth this, private market worth that. I think right now the public market valuation is pretty rich and
Yeah,
private is relatively cheap. So there are still deals available to buy. Maybe they raise money to buy some other project. I have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah. You got to be careful though, because as you say that, with silver at knocking on the door of $60, probably you could have gotten projects a lot cheaper a year ago, probably. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
now, yeah. In any event, we'll have to wait and see. First Majestic Silver and silver miners, I think we're going to should have a lot of fun in 2026. Maybe you
Yeah,
could comment
I
just a
believe
little bit.
so. I think they have another leg to run.
Yeah.
But also I worry because one of the sign of the top is the metal goes up, miner stop going up.
Oh,
That
yeah.
that's a, that happened before a
Yeah.
few times. So that's
So you're
always I'm
saying
always
it,
watching that. Yeah,
so if the miners aren't continuing to rise along with the price, that's a worrying sign, maybe.
that's a warning sign. Yes.
Yeah. Well, as you were on with me, you joined me when we talked to Mark Arianto earlier today about Silverco. Maybe just a comment from you on that one. You bought it, I think, in a private placement before they were public, and then you've been buying some on the market as well. Just give us your view on Silverco at this stage.
Oh, yeah, they looks quite exciting. They looks very good, especially they have support of Aris Broad. That means they have no problem raising money. They will
Yeah,
need to raise money sometime next year.
yeah,
And with that raise, I think they will be fully funded into a production and then free cash flow. View they probably will acquire other asset to make it a 10 million, everybody seems want to go to 10 million ounce of silver. I think because you go to 10 million ounce, you can have a potential multi-billion dollar in public market was multi-billion.
yeah,
Your market cap, when I first put it in my newsletter, when I first start trading, actually only 100 million. Now it's 200 million. But still,
yeah.
if you look at it, become a multi-billion, it still have a lot of leg to go, right? So it's what I feel like is like a 1+1 is bigger than one. So that's where the opportunity is. Seriously. So yeah,
Bigger, yeah,
there's a lot of
better,
if they can play the cards well, especially with the help of Aris Sprout, and this
yeah.
can do very well.
Yeah, I mean, tightly held. 95% of the stock is not out in the market. It's tightly held at 5% in the among the retail. And I guess one of the things I like about the story, Chen, is that they were, I think $23 was their all-in sustaining cost, the previous uh, company when it was operating in 2022. And that was with just 62% of the mill being used. So if they can feed the mill, there's not a lot of capital cost there. If they can get the mill feed there up to 95% or so, it should reduce the cost at the time when silver is over $50. So it should be very good. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about NervGen, changing sectors a little bit here because you've done very well over the years in the pharmaceutical stories, the biotechs. NervGen stock has done much better recently, and you've been a big fan of that. They have a drug for helping to repair a spinal column, spinal injuries,
Viral core
and
injury,
a lot of
yes.
other potential things for that drug as well. But maybe just a comment on NervGen before we call it a day.
Right. This is a revolutionary product. If they're successful, you're looking at the next Eli Lilly. I still believe in that the statement. They had the trial results and then saw a spike. You saw the spike and then came down. I heard it was due to heavily shorted by Wall Street. Okay, heavily shorted.
Ah, uh-huh.
Because they think they need to raise money to to go to the NASDAQ. They're planning to go to NASDAQ.
Yeah.
So that's why the old ex-CEO was let go. I mean, the management was fired because the owner, the founder, were very upset about the stock. So they
Hmm.
get rid of them. The new CEO, which is founder's family, came in and I chatted with the new management. I said, "What's your plan?" They said, "Oh, we want to go down to Fox News."
Yeah.
They did. And then stock had a big run into Fox News. Actually, I sold some because
Uh-huh.
I feel like, oh, okay, just Fox News is that powerful. Actually, it is powerful. You see that the Fox News probably got some other people attention. The stock it really goes up a lot. They had a meeting with FDA and they implied that the FDA probably want them to do a phase 3 trial. So they probably need to go get on NASDAQ probably in the next few weeks, potentially.
The next few weeks.
potentially, I do not know the timing. I never asked about the timing because those are very sensitive. I sense is they probably want to get an asset as soon as they can, and then they need to do a big race to do the phase three. But the video is on the website. I really encourage investors to take a look before and after video. That's just amazing. And I talk to the patient quite often. It's the trial is done in Shirley Ryan in Chicago. I went there. Okay, and some of the patients are my Facebook friend. I mean, actually, Larry he just posted. I mean, that's cost the stock went up so much. Actually, I know him for years, so I
Interesting.
know the progress. I've been seeing the amazing things happen. Like we talk about that a lot. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's finally getting recognition. Let's try to help some very sick patient. I mean, those people who paralyzed for the rest of their life and
Yeah.
they can walk. You can see the video. They can walk for the first time in their life. I'm very pleased about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to hope that that continues to progress there. And there are other neurological issues too that may be addressed in the future with this company. So very interesting. Let's
Yeah, they could because they repair nerve. You think about that. MS,
yeah,
right? So potentially Alzheimer. I mean, all these are nerve damage thing they can potentially repair. I mean, this could be a GLP-1. Who knows? That's why my take, if it works, this will be the next Eli Lilly, but we do not know. We have to be patient. But investor has to be
well,
patient. That's why
patience is
I have a very, yeah, I'm holding my position. I saw some full disclosure on the recent rundown, but I'm keeping the rest, free shares. Yeah.
you keep a position for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I guess patience is what you and I have. Well, anybody that's in the mining industry, the exploration industry, have to be patient. And the same thing holds true for biotech stocks. It takes a long time, and it's a high risk, high reward. Those are sectors that if you get it right, you can make a lot of money, and a lot of times they fail. But that's life. No risk, no gain, I guess you could say. Chen, I want to thank you very much. Any parting thoughts? Let me ask you this. Before it's 20, we're heading towards the end of this year. What are your thoughts about 2026? Maybe a little early to ask, but maybe not. What do you
No,
think?
no, no. I think 2026 looks like a very, very exciting year. For example, like my favorite metal is silver, you know that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you look at the China's inventory very, very low, and then Chinese government very, very mad at it, right? So in order for them to come, to get the silver stock back, you need a high silver price in China. So silver price in China has to be higher than London and New York, so the silver to flow into China. So that's why they have this export control on. So it will be a very exciting year for 2026. And also for silver, for long term, I don't believe in three-digit silver. Okay, I don't believe it. But except silver monetization. So we need to look at the monetization of silver because Indian already semi-monetized it, right?
yeah,
Indian, you can borrow silver against your silver to
sure.
central bank
Yeah.
anytime. It's like guaranteed. So
Hmm.
Russia already have monetization. The key is China. If China really monetize silver, I hope, which China has been using silver as currency for 1,000 years, so they
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
They could. If they monetize silver, we have three-digit silver for a long, long time. So
Right.
that's my hope. Finger crossed.
Three-digit silvers, starting with what number, Chen? Anyway, that's speculation. 2026, the monetization of silver. If that happens, Chen, we'll remember you said it in December
All right. I
2025.
said if
Not gold, though. You think gold monetization of gold?
gold is
Gold
already
metals.
monetized. So silver is the next thing. So the gold is money. That's already
That's established.
It's written on the mount in the mountain. We written already. Everybody knows that. Now
Yeah,
everybody, if you don't know gold is money, you already have some problem, mental problem, right?
it
So
is.
like if you think gold is money, you have mental problem. Now it's just opposite. If you think gold is not money, then you have mental
You have a
problem.
mental problem.
Point, not the paper money, gold is money. We just
Yeah.
want to see if silver will become money again.
Yep.
Silver used to be money.
Well,
Okay, we used to have a United States the dollar is silver. Okay, the quarter, I own a lot of those. Those are made of silver because
Yeah.
people think if it's not silver, it's not money. Okay, that was in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, Chen,
we're
I
coming
have
back.
in my desk drawer here, I have a $5 silver certificate. I think it was in the 1960s yet it was issued. I could take that $5 and get 5 silver coins at that time, right? $1,
Yeah,
$1 for one
yeah,
silver, one
absolutely.
ounce
Yeah,
of silver.
absolutely.
And so it just and what people have to realize it's not that silver, well, silver maybe is still silver and gold are not necessarily changing, they're not going up. It's the currencies that are just that are self-destructing essentially. So
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, 2026, I think it's a pretty fair bet that both those metals will do very well. And of course, the miners are still catching up, I think, to a great extent. The free cash flows for some of these gold producers are pretty
Amazing,
amazing. Amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
So it should be a good year. Well, thanks again, Chen, for spending time with us. And I would just say to those watching this interview, you might want to tune in because following this one, the interview that Chen and I did with Mark Arianto of Silverco will also be aired on YouTube. Okay, well, thanks, Chen. And folks, that is it for this show. Until we meet again, goodbye and God's blessings to you.